Hello?
Hey, George! It's me, Miranda.
Hey, Miranda. What's up?
Mom won a barbecue set in a raffle at the grocery store, and it's so much meat that she can't eat it by herself. She wanted to ask if you and Lily would come over for lunch on Saturday and help us eat it all.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely free. I don't have any particular plans, but...
But what? Does Lily have plans? Does she have an appointment with the gynecologist or something?
No, she doesn't. But because of her morning sickness, she doesn't deal too well with the smell of raw meat.
She's in her 4th month already! Surely she isn't still suffering from morning sickness. She isn't just making up excuses because she doesn't want to come and see us, is she?
Of course not. What kind of person do you think she is? And if she did try and pull something like that, then I would call her out on it.
True. There's no one as impartial as you when it comes to taking sides. So I'm guessing you won't be coming on Saturday then?
Yeah, I wouldn't feel right leaving Lily all by herself in her state. Say sorry to Mom on my behalf, okay?
Okay, sure. But it does make me wonder what kind of kid is growing in there if she still has morning sickness this far into her pregnancy. Most women stop suffering from morning sickness at the 3-month mark.
Oh, really?
Yeah, really. I hope she's not stringing you along there. She could be making the whole morning sickness thing up so that you coddle her throughout her pregnancy.
Watch what you say. Do you really think she would do that?
I'm just kidding! You need to learn how to take a joke.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, and by the way, you know that Mom will be turning 60 in 3 years' time, right?
Oh, really? Already?
Honestly, you really need to take a little more interest in Mom.
I'm sorry. I'll pay more attention to her from now on. Anyway, why are you bringing this up now?
Well, I was thinking that from now on, we could save $500 each month towards going on a big trip abroad to celebrate.
A big trip abroad?
Yeah, we don't know how long we're going to have Mom by our side for, so I want to do what I can for her while she's still around. Both of us have jobs with pretty decent salaries, after all.
Don't you think that 3 years in advance is a little early to start saving?
Of course not. Yes, we could just wait until closer to the time, but I think that if we start saving in a joint family account starting from now, it will take the burden off at the time.
Oh, really? In that case, let's do it.
Okay, great. I'll go ahead and set up a family savings account then.
Okay, thanks.
Was that your sister?
Yeah, it was.
Why was she talking about going on a trip abroad all of a sudden?
You heard what she was saying, right? There's not really any need for me to repeat myself, is there?
But in 3 years' time, our kid is going to be 1 or 2 years old.
Do you think we wouldn't be able to look after the kid on a trip?
I think you're being a little overconfident because you haven't experienced looking after a kid yet. Do you even know how many things a kid needs while growing up? We'll need to take a bunch of stuff with us, not to mention a ton of diapers, which we'll need to be changing constantly still. And kids don't take well to a sudden change in environment. So what if they can't sleep at night and end up crying and disturbing everyone else's sleep as well? That's just to name a few of many of the worries I have about this.
I guess I didn't really think about any of those things.
I really don't want to take a kid that small on a big trip abroad like that. I don't think it will be comfortable for your mom and sister either. Just the thought of it stresses me out. And not to mention the fact that we will need to be spending a lot of money on our kids' needs. We also have that money that we send to your parents every month to maintain as well. How are we going to be able to afford to put money aside each month for this trip as well? $500 a month is no small amount.
But if there's money left over, we could use it for all sorts of other things. So maybe it wouldn't be too much of a bad idea after all.
No, we're in too much of a difficult financial situation right now. For now, I'd like to focus on raising our child while trying to reduce expenses as much as possible.
I understand. I'll talk to my sister again and tell her that we won't be going.
Hang on, I'm coming!
Hurry up and open the door for us already!
I'm sorry. I was in the bathroom, so I didn't hear the doorbell at first. But may I ask what the two of you are doing here? You didn't let me know that you were planning on coming over.
I heard that you couldn't come over to my place because of the baby, so we came to you instead. You know how much my son loves meat, so I thought it was a shame that he didn't get to share the barbecue pack with us just because of you.
So you've come to cook the meat here. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's right. Oh, my legs are killing me. It felt like an eternity getting from the parking lot up to your apartment. Why is there no elevator in this building? I thought that climbing up those stairs was going to be the end of my poor weak knees, you know.
Let's head inside first and then we can carry on talking, Mom. Lily, I'm really thirsty, so would you be able to fetch me a glass of water? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to take advantage of you while you're pregnant or anything like that.
What do you mean?
I just thought that because it's not my house, it would be better for you to get the water for me instead of touching stuff in your kitchen and making a mess.
Oh, no, it's fine. I don't mind you touching stuff in my kitchen at all. So please, feel free to go and fetch your own water. You can drink as much as you like.
Oh, well, thanks.
Why is it so hot in here? It feels like we walked straight into a furnace. Do you have the heating turned on right now?
Yes, I tend to get cold quite easily, you see.
It's still basically summer outside, so how on earth does it make sense to have the heating turned on? I'm so hot, I think I'm going to melt. Hurry up and turn the heating off already. If you're that cold, you can just layer up instead. And besides, you should know by now that I'm someone who can't stand to be in an environment that's too hot.
Well, I did actually know that, but because you didn't tell me that you were coming over today, I didn't have time to turn the heating off in advance and have the house cool down in time for you to come over. I can go and turn it off now, but be aware that the heat is still going to linger for a while.
I can't believe this. Miranda! Get me some water as well while you're there, will you?
Pearl?
What is it?
I'm sorry to have to ask this, but would you be able to keep your voice down a little?
What?
It's gone to the stage where the baby is a little sensitive to loud noises, you see.
What kind of nonsense is this? When I was pregnant with both my children, I would have full-blown screaming matches with my mother-in-law practically every single day, and as you can see, both of them came out fine without any problems. Anyway, these days, because of all the strange information circulating on the internet or whatever, people end up doing unnecessary things and over-coddling their kids. If you coddle your kids too much, then they won't be prepared to face society, you know.
Here's your water, Mom. And if you could lower your voice a little as well, Miranda, that would be great. What's the problem? All I was doing was telling my mom that I brought her water over.
Here, take this and cook it so that it's ready to eat when George gets here. Ew, no! What is this, Pearl? How dare you retch when I hand you all that premium meat like that?
Well, it's just my stomach isn't feeling too great right now.
Well, pinch your nose to hide the smell or wear a mask if it bothers you that much. Honestly, I don't know how my poor son gets to eat anything round here when you're so ridiculously sensitive to everything.
Yeah, Mom. Although it looks like she's really just exaggerating and making a big show out of everything.
No, Miranda, I really am feeling... Hurry up and get lunch ready for us already. I'm sure my son will be hungry when he gets in, so I don't want you to make him wait. I bought some sauce and some buns to make burgers and hot dogs as well.
I'm sorry, Pearl, but I don't think I'm going to be able to cook the meat without being sick, let alone eat it. I'll be in my room. George should be back any minute now, so he will help you prepare. I hope you enjoy your lunch.
Where do you think you're going? We don't know where anything is in the kitchen, so how could we possibly prepare it? You should at least set the table before you leave. It's a total mess.
George is normally the one who does the cooking at the moment, so he will sort it out for you. Because I haven't been well, I haven't really been in the kitchen for a while myself, to be honest.
What's this? Why does it sound like there are multiple people in the house?
Oh, hey, honey. Your mom and your sister have dropped over to have the barbecue set here because they felt bad that you couldn't go and eat with them because of me. I can't eat any because the smell of it alone makes me feel sick. So I'll leave you to prepare everything and eat with your family. I'll be in the room if you need me.
But will you be okay, honey? You'll probably still be able to smell it, even from your room with the door closed.
I'll be fine, don't worry. Go ahead and eat.
Okay, but I'll make sure we finish up quickly. Go on in and get some rest. Hey! Lily! Where are you going? How can you leave my son to set the table? That's not something you should even be suggesting! Why did you come over all of a sudden without saying anything? I already told you that I wasn't going and that I was completely fine with the idea of not being able to eat any of the meat. Don't act like you were actually okay with it when we all know you were just treading on eggshells around your wife. I'm getting so tired of this. So am I. Getting tired of her, that is. Has she always been like this? You must be tired from having been at work all week, and you just came back from going to the grocery store on a Saturday morning. Surely the last thing you want is to be saddled with housewife tasks on top of everything else. Mom, can you please be at least a little bit quieter? You're so loud that I feel like my eardrums are about to burst. I'll cook the meat for you now, so just sit and wait.
George, just tell Lily to come back out. A man shouldn't be doing a woman's job like cooking.
How many times do I have to tell you that she can't be around the meat because of her morning sickness?
Well, she can just leave as soon as everything is cooked then, can't she?
Again, I told you a million times that just the smell is enough to make her feel sick. If all you're going to do is complain, you might as well just go home already. Hi, Lily. It's me, Pearl. Open the door now, would you?
Oh, hi, Pearl. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting to see you here on a weekday. Is something the matter?
Am I not allowed to come to your house on a weekday?
Of course you are. It's just that it seems like you're turning up without notice fairly often these days.
When I was here at the weekend, George told me that you haven't been eating dinner and you just go to bed early.
Well, it's just that I don't really have an appetite. Just the smell of most food is enough to make me gag, so it's hard for me to even think about eating these days.
And you think that's enough of an excuse to not eat anything? You can't just be thinking about yourself here, you know. On the contrary, you should be going out of your way to eat for two. If you starve yourself, then the baby growing inside you will starve as well, and we can't be having that. If you want to give birth to a healthy baby, you need to make sure you're eating a healthy and balanced diet, even if you have no appetite and feel sick all the time.
I understand where you're coming from, but sometimes it just gets too hard and it's better to just leave it than to make myself sick.
That baby of yours could end up in grave trouble because of your behavior, you know. Is there nothing in particular that you've been craving?
I guess I was craving pasta a while back and I ate a lot of it at the beginning of the month.
You shouldn't be eating foods too high in carbs, though. Your diet should be perfectly balanced. You clearly have no concept of what's good for your child, so I guess I'm going to have to teach you. Go and get yourself a spoon.
What's that you've got there?
It's homemade porridge I brought for you.
Homemade porridge?
Yes. I put lots of different fruits in there as well, so surely your body will accept that it's something healthy and it won't reject it.
Oh,
What's wrong now?
Well, the truth is that I never was able to eat porridge even since before I was pregnant.
And why is that?
When I had surgery as a teenager and I was in the hospital for a while, they basically fed it to me every single day and now I can't bear to eat it.
Well, whether you can bear to eat it or not isn't important. The important thing here is the healthy development of your child.
Please just stop yelling. It's really hurting my ears.
What did you just say? How can you be so ungrateful? Even though my knees are killing me, I trudged all the way from the parking lot, all the way up those stairs to bring you this food. And this is how you treat me. Do you know how hard just getting by is for me? I'm working various part-time jobs to make ends meet because we can't live off my husband's pension and I still went out of my way to make this porridge for you.
I know as well as anyone how hard things are for you.
Then just shut up and eat the porridge already! How can you stand there and say you don't want the food that your mother-in-law has gone to the trouble of making for you? How dare you be so picky about this?
Pearl, did you just come here to yell at me today?
Excuse me!
I will happily accept the porridge, so please just stop yelling at me, okay? You said that you were worried about the baby, right? Obviously, I know that the food I eat is important, but the environment around the baby is also important. Instead of just fussing over what I'm eating or not eating, you should maybe think more about the fact that the baby is listening to you scream at me right now.
Well, I never. All I did was try and take care of you, and you go and insult me to my face. I'm sure you're the only daughter-in-law in the world who would complain about her mother-in-law bringing homemade food for her while she's pregnant. I don't care whether you eat it or not anymore. Just do whatever you want.
Pearl.
There's no need to see me out. If you get hurt on the way, I'm worried that you'll make it out to be my fault, so I daren't stay here a minute longer.
Pearl, if you bring a pregnant woman who is already suffering from morning sickness food that she didn't even eat before she was pregnant and demand that she eat it, is she then obligated to eat it? This is why you should have told me you were coming and what you were planning on bringing me and asked me whether or not I was able to eat it.
Is it really important now whether you eat it or not? My grandchild is in there starving and I'm worried because you don't seem to want to do anything about it.
Pearl, if you're going to insist on acting like this, then you can just take your porridge and leave. I know that there is nothing more precious than my unborn child, but I really don't like how you're treating me as if I'm nothing but a machine whose only purpose is to give birth to your grandchildren.
Well, that's exactly what you are to me. I try to treat you with respect, and what do I get for it? Nothing but unnecessary trouble.
How could you say such things to me, Pearl?
Honestly, if it wasn't for my son, I could have been standing outside for hours waiting for a taxi that was never going to come.
I'm sorry that you had to go through that, Pearl.
I can just drop you outside your house, right, Mom? Oh, no. Today I have dinner plans with my friends, so you can drop me off outside the crossroads by the hospital. Okay, then. By the way, George, do you remember the daughter of the lady who ran the corner store in our neighborhood who you used to play with all the time when you were little? Back in kindergarten. I only have a vague recollection of her. How could you not remember? You liked her so much that you would literally chase her around the neighborhood. So what? Your father and I used to talk to her parents about the possibility of the two of you getting married one day when you grew up. Do you really not remember that at all? How could I possibly remember a detail like that about a girl I used to play with when I was 4 or 6 years old? Well, there's no need to react like that. Well, anyway, her mom got back in touch with me not too long ago, and I'm actually going to eat dinner with her right now. She said that her daughter isn't married yet, you know. She sent me a photo of her, and she grew up to be quite a beauty. Oh, I see. And why are you telling me this? Apparently, she's a news anchor now. To think that a girl like her could have ended up as my daughter-in-law if fate would have had it does break my heart, you know. I hardly think it's reasonable to have thought I was fated to be with someone I used to play with when I was barely bigger than a toddler. Well, you never do know what could have happened.
She's so loud. I really do wish she would just keep quiet.
Mom, I think you've forgotten that I'm already married. I have eyes for nobody but my wife. I'm really happy to have a flight attendant wife. I don't need some news anchor or whatever. Well, did you know that girl already owns her own house? She's not even married yet, and she's already a homeowner. That's pretty impressive in this economy, don't you think? She remembers you really clearly. I can't believe that you can barely remember her. What's the point in clinging on to the memory of someone from the past when I've already found the person I want to spend the rest of my life with? Ugh! You're such a simp, it makes me sick. By the way, Mom, can you please remember to be quieter around Lily? The doctor said that we need to be careful about exposing the baby to loud noises. Fine, whatever. But a loud grandma also means a healthy grandma. You should be happy that I have so much strength and energy in me. If I start to wither and waste away, you'll be the ones who will suffer for it. Yes, Mom. I'm very grateful that you're in good health. But please, can you just be a little more mindful about keeping your voice down, okay? I'm going to carry on as I always have done and just do whatever I want. So if you have a problem with me and think I'm too noisy, you can just cover your ears and get on with it. Ugh, why does my mom have to slam the car door shut so hard like that? Are you okay, honey?
Yeah, I'm fine. I don't think there's really much we can do about her. The more you tell her that I'm uncomfortable with loud noises, the louder she's going to be. I think slamming the car door like that was her way of making a statement as she was leaving.
She really is infuriating sometimes.
Honey?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, you know how your sister was talking about planning that trip for your mom's 60th?
Yeah, of course.
Did you tell her that we wouldn't be going?
Well, I was thinking that maybe we could compromise a little since the baby hasn't been born yet, and just save $300 a month towards the trip instead of $500. What do you think?
What kind of solution is that? Once the baby is born, we will barely have enough money to get by. And not to mention the fact that we will be surviving on your salary alone for the time being.
That's why I thought that $300 would be better than $500.
Are you sure that your sister is also contributing towards this? When there's a family party or when we go out to dinner with her, I've never once seen her pay for anything. I'm worried that she's just going to use us to gather the money and then act like she contributed too because it was her idea in the first place.
I guess she's just a little immature still and doesn't know too much about the ways of the world.
No, I don't think that's it at all. I think she knows far too much about the ways of the world, and she's trying to be subtly manipulative here.
I don't think there's any way that she would seriously try and get away without putting any money towards the trip. As you said, the whole thing was her idea in the first place, so surely that means that she's going to be more than happy to pay.
Well, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I guess we'll find out eventually. And because our situation isn't the best right now and we need to be saving every penny for the sake of the baby, she should be the one to take your mom by herself, since all of her income goes directly to her and she doesn't have anyone else to worry about.
The thing is, if they go just the two of them, she will most likely just get distracted doing whatever she wants and forget that the trip was actually a gift for our mom.
But even if we go on the trip, that's not going to change much, is it? You said that you weren't going to take responsibility for your mom because she's irritating, which means that the responsibility would then fall on me. How am I supposed to look after a baby and your mom at the same time?
Surely nobody is going to expect that of you on a trip.
How do you know? You can't guarantee that isn't going to be the case. So to be honest, I would rather just not go. If you really want to go, you and your sister can take joint responsibility for your mom. But don't drag me into it. I'll be here focusing on the baby.
Well, I won't be going anywhere without you. I won't go on the trip, so please don't be mad. It's not good for your body in this delicate state. I'll tell my sister tonight, okay?
Hello?
Hi, Lily.
Hi, Miranda.
So I heard that you said you won't be going on my mom's 60th birthday trip?
Yes, I will not be going.
Don't say it like that as if it's something to brag about.
Excuse me?
It's not like you're earning money at the moment, so I don't really know what gives you the right to tell my brother not to contribute money and not to go.
It's not that I think I have the right to order him around. It's just the baby.
I don't know who you think you are, but my brother has more of a purpose than just to be your doting husband, you know. Before he's your husband, he's our mom's son, and I think it's only right for him to honor that. If he isn't able to spend time with our mom because of you and ends up regretting it, are you willing to take responsibility?
That's why I told him to go by himself, but he's the one who said that he didn't want to go without me.
Well, he obviously just said that because he wanted to do whatever he thought would make you happy.
If you're that upset about this, I will talk to him again this evening and encourage him to go without me. But even if I say that, he will probably insist that the baby is his #1 priority and still not go. If his mom was his #1 priority, I think he would have fought harder to go on the trip in the first place.
Well, you were the one always complaining about the living expenses and making him feel bad, when he's the one who is going to be responsible for getting the money together, not you.
You really are your mother's daughter, aren't you? Why do you have to yell and react so dramatically to everything? Right now, you're eager to pick on me over every little thing, as if you can't wait to tear me apart. If I were going to go on a trip with you to a strange and unfamiliar place, who will the two of you be directing all that anger at? I'm the easiest target for you two, aren't I?
Excuse me. I really don't like that tone you're taking with me right now. It sounds a little too sarcastic.
Well, I tried to tell you how I was feeling about the situation in the nicest way possible, but it's a little difficult, you see. You and your mom are always picking fights with me and yelling at me for little or no reason. I started to feel a little bit of resentment towards the two of you without even realizing it. Or maybe it's the baby sending signals to make their auntie and grandma quiet down a bit because they're too loud.
Hey! Be careful what you say here.
If you want to talk more about this, please just take it up with your brother instead.
All I wanted was to go on a little trip abroad, but everything has been ruined because of that ridiculously immature daughter-in-law of mine. Do you want me to die without having ever left the country? Is that it?
And you're just as bad, George. Even if you are married with a family of your own now, you shouldn't be putting them above your mother, the person who gave birth to you. What has Lily ever done for you anyway? Why does she deserve for you to be catering to her every whim like this, huh? What about Mom? What about me?
Please, can you both just be quiet? Lily wasn't able to eat dinner again tonight because of how sick she's been feeling, and she's only just been able to fall asleep. Yesterday, she woke up several times in the night to be sick.
Is all you care about whether your precious wife gets her beauty sleep or not? You've made us so angry that we couldn't sleep a wink. She hasn't even had the baby yet, and she's being pampered like she's made of glass.
What on earth is going on here? Why can I hear voices? Are Pearl and Miranda here right now? At this hour?
I guess this is what they mean when they say there's no use in having sons, because they don't look after you in your old age. I'm so upset that I might die, you know. If I'm going to lose my son because of a grandchild that hasn't even been born yet, then I don't need a grandchild. What use is a grandchild when your own children won't even put you first?
Lily has been forcing you to act like this, hasn't she?
No, she has not. Mom keeps saying all of this stuff about her precious child. Well, I also have a precious child now, and of course I'm going to put them first. What on earth did you hope to achieve by coming here first thing in the morning and making a huge fuss? If you're going to resort to this, we're going to move somewhere where you can't find us. Are you saying that you want to cut off your relationship with me, your own mother?
Are you stupid, George? If you wanted us to treat Lily nicely, you should have gone out of your way to be nicer to us. Didn't you realize that the more you prioritized your wife, the more it made us hate you?
Isn't it normal that the husband has to treat his wife well so that his wife will treat his family well? This is a little twisted, isn't it? Lily has always been nice to you. When has she ever been nice to us? All she does is look down on me. Well, do you blame her after the way you've treated her? Whenever I go to her family's place, I receive nothing but love from her parents. So why can't you just do the same for her? Even her older brother is really nice to me. So why do you two have to act like this? This is a really important time for both my wife and our unborn child. And all the two of you are doing is causing unnecessary trouble for us.
Trouble? I see. So that's how you see us. What kind of spell has that witch of a wife put on you to make you turn against us like that? How could you just change like that overnight? Well, I suppose we can just go and ask her, can't we?
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Well, she must have woken up considering that we haven't exactly been quiet. I don't think anyone could carry on sleeping after hearing voices in their living room in the middle of the night.
That's right. Move out of the way. I need to see her face to face and have a good talk with her. Just stop already.
Why won't this door open? Hey, Lily! Lily! I know you're awake in there. Open the door. We need to have a few words with you.
Has she gone and locked herself in there? Hey, your mother-in-law is here. If you're awake, you should at least come out and say hi. How could you be so rude and insolent towards your guests?
If you have something to say, just say it. I'm listening.
Are you awake, honey? I'm so sorry about this. I'll get them to leave right away.
Oh no, it's fine. It seems like your mom and sister have something important to say to me, so I'm happy to hear them out. Just let them be.
Now listen here, Lily. You really do seem to have my brother under your thumb, huh?
What on earth is it that has made you so upset that you've come here to make a fuss in the middle of the night?
I'll only tell you if you open the door. When family comes to visit, it's only polite to open the door and come out to greet them, isn't it? Where are your manners?
Of course, if people I consider my family were here, I would open the door and talk to them. But you two have never once thought of me as family, have you? So you see, I just returned the sentiments and decided not to see you as my family either. So no, I don't owe you that respect. If you want to talk, we can do it through the door. And as I have said many, many times before, the two of you are so ridiculously loud that I'm worried that your shouting is going to cause harm to the baby. I'd much prefer to have the door in between us so I don't have to be subjected to the full volume of your screeching.
Well, it's clear as day to me that you don't understand what a figure of authority a mother-in-law is.
If you don't get to the point and say what you want to say quickly, I'm going to give up on listening to you and just go back to bed. Are you finally going to say what you've come here to say?
Well, I have never met such an ill-mannered girl in my entire life. I heard you've been managing my son's money as if it's your own to do as you please with. All my poor son wanted to do was splash out and give his old mother a treat for once in her life. Who are you to stop him from doing that?
Oh, you're talking about the trip, right?
That's right. I've been bragging to all my friends and the other neighborhood ladies about how I'm going on a trip for my 60th birthday. And now because of you, I've ended up looking like I was bragging over nothing.
I never once forced George to say he wouldn't go, you know. I also never acted like his money was my money to do whatever I wanted with. You can take him with you if you really want to. Just leave me out of this.
Are you not a part of our family? Why did you get married if you weren't even going to participate in things like family vacations?
I wouldn't even want to go if the trip was being handed to me for free. The fact that we're being expected to put the money that's supposed to be for our baby towards the trip makes me want to go even less. If I go, it's obvious that you're going to spend the whole time making me run around after you. Am I wrong? Who in their right mind would agree to that? You only care about your grandchild on the surface. If you really cared about them, then you wouldn't be wanting to use the money that's meant for them on yourself.
What did you just say?
Do I really have to continue being cursed out and put down by you and your daughter even when I'm on vacation? I'll be prioritizing looking after my child at that time. And you're clearly going to want me to prioritize you instead, which I won't be doing. Why are you even suggesting a trip abroad at this time? Are you completely oblivious to the situation? Why have you backed me into a corner and forced me to have to say all of these things to you? Why do you keep making me into the bad person when I haven't done anything wrong?
You must be completely out of your mind if you think it's acceptable to say these kinds of things to your mother-in-law.
It's because of mothers-in-law like you that mothers-in-law have a bad reputation all over the world. There are lots of lovely mothers-in-law out there who are having their names tarnished by the likes of you. One of my friend's mother-in-law even sent her and her husband on a trip when she found out they were having a baby. It's because of people like you, Pearl, who act so shamelessly and unnecessarily, that the truly good mothers-in-law get overshadowed.
Excuse me!
I'm not going on that trip, and I have no intention of putting any money towards it, and that's final. Please just stop coming to see me just to berate me like this. It's making it obvious that you're a country bumpkin who has never even left the state, let alone the country.
Open the door right this instant! I am not letting you get away with this!
What are you doing not getting the key to the room, George?
Get out of my house before I report you to the police.
Are you really going to treat us like this?
If anything happens to my baby because of trauma caused by you and Mom, I seriously am going to completely cut ties with the pair of you. How could you say such a thing? I thought I told you to get out.
Hello?
Hi, Lily. It's me, Pearl.
I see.
Did everything go well with the move? You had me worried because you didn't get in touch with us at all.
Drop the act. You weren't worried about us. You just wanted to find out where we had moved to.
It makes me upset that you think that little of me. But since you said that you didn't have any money, how on earth did you afford to move at such short notice?
Ah, well, you see, my husband had been saving up money secretly to move you into a better house as a 60th birthday present.
What?
The house that you and Miranda had been living in together is a little old, and he had been thinking of saving up to help you get an apartment on the nicer side of town.
What are you talking about? My son was going to buy me an apartment!
Well, yes. The money he had been saving combined with the amount you would get from selling your current place would have been more than enough. It was going to be a surprise that he would reveal at your 60th birthday party. But you decided to be stubborn about the trip abroad, and now you're not getting either.
So you're saying that you used that money to move instead?
Yes. I never thought I'd be able to live in such a nice area. My stress is all melting away now, you see. It's also in both of our names.
What? Why would a house bought with my son's money be in both of your names?
Well, you see, he was feeling bad that he never got me a congratulations gift when I got pregnant. So this is it. Thanks to you losing your son's trust, I'm benefiting massively and living a great life. For the first time ever, I actually felt grateful towards you for having such a strong personality. It's pretty funny, isn't it?
Let me talk to my son. It's the weekend, so he should be at home now, right?
If you want to talk to him, you can just call him yourself.
But he doesn't pick up any of my calls.
Then there's nothing I can do about it. If he doesn't want to talk to you, then I'm not going to force him.
Then will you at least relay a message to him?
Sure. What is it?
The trip for my 60th birthday wasn't something I ever wanted for myself. It was that daughter of mine. She wouldn't stop harping on about it. She kept saying that she wanted to do a Europe tour out of nowhere, but she didn't have enough money to go herself. The trip was never about me. It was about her. She just wanted to use me as an excuse to get you to put your money towards the trip of her dreams. It's the truth. I was just going along with whatever she wanted.
If that's the case, you had better get her to apologize profusely to George. So she really did want to get away with not contributing a single penny towards the trip, so she used you in order to get us to finance it instead? She really is smart, huh? George thought that since it was an investment being made into the happiness of a parent, then any leftover money could be used for family events and things. But I guess Miranda just coveted his money and was planning on using every single last cent on this trip.
Could you not help me out here? Please, can you persuade my son to talk to me? Tell him that I don't need the trip abroad, and I never did. I really don't want to lose him over something ridiculous like this.
Well, if you want to start afresh with him, you also need to apologize profusely.
What?
It's up to you to try and rebuild this relationship by yourself. Did you really think that you could do so without apologizing? Oh, and I have no intention of helping you out with this.
What? Why?
You're only wanting to apologize to your son because you're upset about the fact that you didn't get that house. You haven't acknowledged the fact that you wronged me in any way, and you haven't made any attempt to apologize to me.
Ah, I see. Well, of course I was planning on apologizing to you. I just wanted to do it in person. I didn't really feel that it would come off as sincere enough over the phone.
Well then, I guess I don't need to accept an apology that hasn't been made yet, do I? Take care of yourself, okay? Oh, and because you are still the grandmother of my child, even after everything that has happened, I will send you a picture when they're born.
Are you hanging up on me already? I guess I've really put myself into a situation where I won't get to hold my newborn grandchild and my son wants nothing to do with me. All because of this ridiculous girl wanting to save a ridiculous amount of money for a ridiculous trip 3 whole years in advance. Well, I guess there's nothing left for me to do but throw all of her things out and chase her out of my house. I can't believe she would use her own mother for her own selfish needs. I don't need a daughter who acts like that.
In the end, my mother-in-law really did end up kicking my sister-in-law out, and she was left to fend for herself for the first time in her life. But that wasn't enough to make her abandon her irresponsible ways. She racked up month after month worth of credit card debt and started making a fuss that she didn't want to live in a stuffy one-room apartment in the shabby end of town and begged for her mom to let her move back in with her. Of course, my mother-in-law refused to take her in again. As for my mother-in-law, she keeps calling us in an attempt to make amends, but we have been ignoring her. Thanks to my husband, I was able to start my life as a new mother in a lovely new environment, and I gave birth without any complications. I'm so excited about the idea of us beginning this new chapter of our lives as a little family of 3. We deliberately found a place near my parents' house, so they come around to visit us often. At first, I tried to stop them in case my husband felt like it was too much, but it turns out that he had actually been the one to call them and tell them to come over as much as they wanted. He wanted them to help me with looking after the baby and take some of the burden off me. He also does everything he can to help with the baby as well. When he comes home from work, he barely lets himself rest for 5 minutes and then he takes over for baby bath time, and I'm extremely grateful for him. I was starting to worry that because I got saddled with terrible in-laws, that my husband might turn out to not be the person I thought he was. But thankfully, he's lived up to every promise he's made and been the perfect husband and father. Now I know without a shadow of a doubt that he will always put me and our child first, no matter what. This is the end of the story. Thank you for listening. Thanks for watching! If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content.